This episode is sponsored by the Secret Society of Adored Women. If you are fed up with craptastic dating experiences that lead to a mediocre or even non-existent love life, then spend 16 weeks with me, Jen, your romantic fairy godmama, walking in the adored woman world. The Secret Society of Adored Women now has 2 membership options just for you. See you over at the Secret Society of AdoredWomen.com.
You are listening to Single Smart Female.
This is Jen,
And Jen,
letting it all hang out for your love life.
examining your dating experiences and answering your hot topic dating questions.
Just you and us, Jen squared. No topic is off limits and no filters involved.
We are here to help you do dating on your terms.
If you have a question you would like us to answer or would like to immediately upgrade your love life with our collection of classes and exclusive merchandise, meet us over now at singlesmartfemale.com. Hey there, single smart female. It is Gen 1, your romantic fairy godmama, coming to you today with a single smart female listener question. And I have to say, I really believe I'm going to enjoy this question. Why? Because it's a much different question than we normally get. And it comes from Miss Cock-Blocked Single Mom, whose location is in London. Okay, with that said, let's read what she has to say. Dear Jen, she says, I am a single mom of 3 kids. Now, I'm starting to wonder because she said mom, not mom. So either she thinks I don't know what mom means or she's actually an American in England. Not sure. Anywho. Okay, I am a single mom of 3 kids, 19, 16, 13. 1 kid is away at college, and the other 2 spend nearly 100% of their time at home with me. I have a new friends with benefits for approximately 1 month who has a flexible work schedule and lives far enough away that it's difficult to see each other more than once a week. When the kids are in school, I can arrange for a lunch hour rendezvous at my house. However, on the weekends or during breaks, the kids are at home. He has shared custody of a 2-year-old, so his apartment has not yet been offered as an optional place to meet. I'm considering inviting him over occasionally and just mentioning to my kids that he's a friend and we're going to hang out in my room. I want to be careful what I model for my kids, but I also want to model female empowerment for my kids too. I'm pretty open with my kids, but do not necessarily have to provide them with all the intimate details of my personal life. Hoping you might give me some thoughts on how to handle since renting a hotel weekly is not in the budget and my kids will be around a lot. Okay, so a couple things here. She mentions that she's been single for a year and it's post-divorce, and usually she meets the men she dates by having them approach her. Okay, with that said, let's dive into this because there's some really juicy stuff here. And I believe I want to start with the whole modeling female empowerment for your kids and what that precisely means. So in the 60s and continuing into the 70s, the feminist movement brought around the idea of free love for women and that women should be sexually empowered as men and be able to do what they want to do. And that is 100% true. We should be able to do that. Now, with that said, I have to say that sometimes women don't necessarily honor what they want in terms of female empowerment. And I want to tell you that if you decide that you don't want to be the woman who brings your lover in front of your kids and just heads off to the room, that doesn't mean that you're anti-female empowerment. Now, so there's a lot of different things at play here. So that's something I want to put out there that, female empowerment is different to different women. And what I really care about is that you're honoring yourself and who you are and modeling this, especially for your daughters and what that looks like. If it does mean bringing somebody home, taking them to your room, and then that's fine. That's absolutely 100% your decision. But make sure it's really what you want first, okay? And that's what you're going to model. You're going to model a woman who is comfortable in her desires. Now, let me talk about how, and I know you're probably sending me this question because there's a good chance you've listened to me talk about how I don't like bringing men into kids' lives until you're in an exclusive relationship. And that's still true. So I'm kind of on two different sides here. And I have to remind you, ultimately, you're a grown-ass, wonderful woman, and you get to make the decision for yourself. If you decide to bring a lover into your life, I know you don't need to share all the what would be quote-unquote gory details to them, but it might be important for them to understand that there's a good probability of this being a temporary situation if that's what you indeed feel that it is, and that it is a friends with benefits situation, okay? I totally believe at 19, 16, and 13, there's a good chance that they can handle that. I could be wrong, but if I made that decision, that's what I would do. I would just go full disclosure with that piece because I don't really think it's fair to set up any expectation of somebody being long-term when you haven't made it in an exclusive relationship yet, okay? Female empowerment is what you decide, okay? Female empowerment is what really works for you. It's not the idea that as a female that you have to go out and sleep with men willy-nilly in order to prove that you're empowered as a female, okay? It's more about the fact that you own who you are, and if it's somebody who enjoys a friend with benefits, great. If it's somebody who likes to save sex closer to a relationship or even just within the context of a relationship, that's great too. What I want you to model is what it means to you, not what society has told you that it means. A lot of women have heard me go off. I hate this idea that we go around talking about boning all the time and just taking men home randomly, because the truth is I have a lot of women that come to me and they've been doing that for a while, and to be honest, they feel like a big hot fucking mess doing it because it's not really honoring who they are. I don't condemn them for doing it because I think we should, as women, be able to explore whatever we want, but I think it's also important to own when something doesn't work for you and to be willing to say it, even if it's contradicting what the rest of the feminist world is telling you, okay? Or I'm not even going to say it's necessarily a feminist world, but the rest of the modern day society is telling you is that men don't really want relationships. So if you want to get his attention, do this or try this. You can't want a relationship before he does. There's just a lot of shit notions. And what I'm going to tell you over and over again is you do you. You do your level of comfort. I have women who come to me who are absolutely 100% comfortable sleeping with multiple men frequently. And I have no problem with that, as long as they're honoring themselves in their own sexual time frame. And then I have women who are not able to do that. They have one man that they can sleep with in their entourage, and that is okay. And sometimes it's no men. Sometimes women, postpone the sexual activity for a while as they really open up and discover who they are and what they want more in a relationship. All of those pieces work as long as they are in integrity with you. So, with that said, let's talk logistics here. You said that you are post-divorce, and I wasn't clear by your submission. Does your ex not have access to your kiddos? Because one of the great things about many separations, and I'm not saying that there's a ton of great things, but especially when you have kids, is co-custody, if it's a good situation and that person is indeed a good person. And if that be the case, then it's good to have your kids around. Love my kiddo, but it's also okay to take a break and to enjoy your own personal time to yourself and to rediscover yourself as more than just a mom and allow that to unfold. So if you have that option, of course, lean into it. Lean into that option. If you don't, your kids are also of age that they could be hanging with friends, going on their own adventures for the day. You could give them, certain things to do. If you feel like they're not old enough for the 16 and 13-year-old, when the 19-year-old is home, there's lots of different ways that you can negotiate this. Now, I want to go into, I just did the whole female empowerment thing. I actually want to talk about the friends with benefits thing. Like I said, I'm a big fan of women doing dating and love the way that they want to. I do want to remind women that a lot of times, especially when you have a friends with benefits situation, there's a good chance after being intimate for a very long time. Now, this isn't every woman. It just happens to be a lot of women that you fall for this person. And I'd like for you to go listen to a podcast titled, I don't remember the number, but How to Take a Lover, to listen to some of the things that come into play for that, because that's essentially what you're doing in this situation. I also recommend that you immediately start Mantourage dating and online dating as well, so that you can investigate all of your options, because there's nothing worse than being intimate with a certain man for a good period of time. You're falling for him and he still sees it as just a friends with benefits situation, okay? I'm not saying don't have the situation. There's nothing wrong with having a situation if you really want to do that. But it's important for you to open up your options for romantic involvement. And you've already determined ahead of time that by declaring this a friends with benefits situation, that there isn't a romantic component to it. Now, can something develop? Absolutely. But banking on it is not the greatest of ideas. So I would suggest immediately you start your Mantourage and put real men who have a real opportunity with you into the Mantourage, so that you can explore these romantic options and not end up in a place where you feel crazy pants because you're falling for somebody and you feel like you have no other option in the world, okay? So that way, because friends with benefits, to be honest, is a really good recipe for hyperfocus if you're not doing the Mantourage dating at the same time. So again, reminder, female empowerment is what you decide female empowerment is. You get to model what you want to model for your kids. If you do decide to bring this man into your life as a merely sexual partner, I would, in your case, explain to your kids before coming in that this doesn't mean that he is going to be around long term, okay? And as for, I am a little curious, there's one little just side note here. We were talking about he lives far enough away that it's difficult to see each other more than once a week, but you can do a lunch hour rendezvous at your house. I'm trying to add that up of how that works if he lives that far away. So I would, if you're not really into this whole friends with benefit thing, it's just what you're taking right now because maybe sexually you feel you're missing that kind of attention, I would also do dates with this man, okay? Because if he can come over during a lunch hour for sex, then there's no reason why he can't do a walk in the park somewhere or, something, just the two of you. And I'm not saying, I want to make it clear that I'm not saying that you have to do that whatsoever. If you're totally good with just the lover portion, great. Again, listen to How to Take a Lover podcast. But I do want women to understand that if that's all a man is offering you, that doesn't necessarily mean you have to take it, okay? It doesn't mean that you have to sign up for something like that unless you're totally 100% heart and everything on board with it. And okay, that it does come with some side effects at times. Hey ladies, it's time for the final thought on today's show. Female empowerment doesn't mean you sleep with men willy-nilly. It does, however, mean that you do dating, love, and romance on your terms. Mantourage dating is the best way to learn how. This episode is sponsored by the Secret Society of Adored Women. If you are fed up with craptastic dating experiences that lead to a mediocre or even non-existent love life, then spend 16 weeks with me, Jen, your romantic fairy godmama, walking in the adored woman world. The Secret Society of Adored Women now has 2 membership options just for you. See you over at the Secret Society of AdoredWomen.com. Hey Lover Girl, this is Jen again. Don't forget to subscribe to the show in your favorite podcast app, as well as share Single Smart Female with all of your single smart girlfriends. And if you would like to play around and learn more about Mantourage dating, come see me at singlesmartfemale.com. Talk to you next time.